Hi everybody, thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. I am working with the MFT Polynesian Paradise stamp and die set, and I've created 3 cards to give you some ideas in case you have this set. If you'd like to see how I did that, then just keep watching. I went ahead and colored everything off camera and die cut them out, so if you'd like to see the coloring portion, then just leave a comment down below and I can upload that on a separate video. But for this one, I just wanted to save time. So here's all the characters that I have so far cut and colored, and I'm going to go ahead and start making a scene. So I've taken some Bristol Smooth cardstock and I've just cut 2 panels out using a basic rectangular frame die. I'm using the Broken China in Distress Oxide here. And on the first panel, I'm just going to kind of create a gradient from the base of the card going up into white. And on the second panel, I'm going to bring in Faded Jeans, Distress Oxide, and I'm going to create a dark to light. So that's what you'll see I'm doing here. And I did go ahead and cut little bits out throughout this video, just again to save time. I'm trying to, get better about this with my tutorials on what I feel like is the more important scenes, to watch. So, me adhering tape and things like that, those type of things I'm trying to cut out of the videos. So hopefully everything's okay on this one. So I went ahead and spritzed a little water on that to give it the distress look and just patted it up with my little rag towel that I use for paints and stuff. So here's the second panel I was telling you. I brought in the Faded Jeans, and I'm going to go ahead and spritz this panel as well. And I will set those aside to dry in just a moment. So with the first card, I'm going to use some pieces. You can see a little bit on my desk there. I had watercolored some paper off camera, and I had it laying around on my desk. That's this hill that you see, and the paper in the background is a little brown. I just watercolored those. They were sitting on my desk. So I trimmed them up with some stitch dies I had in my stash and created this look that the brown part would be where the turtle is over on the sandy side of the beach. And she's, of course, over on the grassy hill doing the hula. I also cut out this cloud banner, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment Aloha, I believe, on this one. Oh, I'm also going to line up the stitch rectangular die on the clouds as well, just so everything coordinates and looks nice. I think it adds a finishing touch when you do that and add the stitching on all your, details. So here I am stamping the Aloha on the cloud. And I'm just using some Memento black ink for that. So I'm going to pop up most of these characters with some foam tape. And again, I just cut a little bits of this out so it wouldn't waste time. I'm always a little fiddly with tape, so I'm just trying to cut those things out. So here I'm adhering this land piece. And then I had also off camera used some extra scraps of watercolor paper to cut out these waves. And I'm just going to kind of fiddle with these and get these lined up in the background behind the characters. So you'll see me doing that. And I'm going to just use wet glue to get these down. I just put her there so I could kind of see how far that wave needs to be behind her. And I wanted to mention here, you see how much glue just seeped out from under that wave. This is the Lawn Fawn glue pen, and it dried clear, and I didn't have any problems. I actually really prefer this over that Tombow Mono multi because it's not sticky. It doesn't leave all that sticky residue on your fingers. So in case you're wondering about the Lawn Fawn glue pen, I like it. So again, I'm going to use that to adhere the other 2 waves. I think I put the foam tape up a little bit too high behind the hill and the grass because I really wanted to kind of tuck that wave down behind it, but it wasn't going down. So that's what you see me here kind of trying to lift it up a little bit. So I got it to work, but I should have kept that in mind. I just forgot I was going to put those waves there when I added foam tape. So anyhow, I will put some foam tape behind her, just partial parts of her, because, you know, some is going to be up on the sky and some on the land. So I'll use foam tape and glue on her. Trying to keep in mind that I'm going to be bringing that cloud up on the top above her head. So I kind of just have enough room there. And I also put some foam tape on that. Just lining it up. And then I'll bring in this super cute little turtle. Now these do have the Spectrum Noir glitter pen on her hula dress, her skirt on the turtle shell, on the flower in her hair and her top, but it's a little bit hard to see on camera. I think I'll have a close-up picture here in just a second. You might be able to tell a little bit better, especially on her little skirt. I felt like the sentiment up there on the cloud needed a little embellishment, so I just took an extra flower I had in my stash and glued some leaves on it, and I'll put that up there next to the sentiment. So this card is actually going to my brother-in-law who's stationed in Hawaii. He just got back from deployment, so I thought I would send him a nice little card, and I just thought this set was the perfect set. So while I had it out and I had all these characters colored, that's why I wound up making more than one card with this set. And so yeah, so that's what started everything, was me just making a card for him, and it turned into some more cards. Now I do have actually 2 more cards to make, but I'm waiting on the Hero Arts kit so I can have some branch dies. I didn't have any in my stash, so those other 2 cards will be posted probably after the Hero Arts kit comes in. So here's the still shot of her. And I decided to go ahead and make some extra flowers. I went ahead and colored those again off camera, because instead of doing any shading, I just honestly took a red marker and colored all of them in solid, pink marker, green marker, purple. So everything wasn't, you know, no shading at all whatsoever with these. It's just one flat layer of color. I went in and added some white dots with my gel pen, and then I added some more shimmer with the Spectrum Noir glitter pen. So that's really why I didn't share that, because I wasn't doing anything fancy with the coloring. But so this is the second panel I had. And I've decided to take the sentiment, I believe it says Hello Sunshine. And I'm going to just stamp that directly to my panel. Again with the Memento ink. Yeah, so it says Hello Sunshine. I got ink all over my hands. I was trying to be very cautious of what I was touching at this point until I could wipe it off. Okay, so with all the flowers, I decided I'm going to just try to make a type of wreath on the front of the card. And I'm going to take some of these foam squares I had in my stash and just have some ready for popping up all the flowers. I'm using this quick stick. I have used this for, I'd say about a month now, and I like it. I can't find my crystal katana, so that's the only reason why you see me using this one now, is because the other crystal katana just disappeared. I don't know where it went, but this one works fine. It's fine. You know, sometimes you still have to kind of hold things down with your finger and get it off of this because it's a little sticky, but so far so good. I might have mentioned that before. Sorry, my screen just went dark. I hope it didn't do that on the screen. But anyhow, so yeah, I'm just kind of getting an idea, laying these out, and I'll put the parrot in the center of the wreath. And I'm going to also bring in some press and seal. I felt like this was just getting really fiddly, and so I brought that in to help me kind of hold everything down at once. And you'll see I actually changed the whole design around to add the leaves just in the center to base the parrot. And I'll pick all these up with the press and seal. Now it is super sticky, so be careful with your fingers. You know, when I'm over here trying to flip it around, my fingers kept kind of getting stuck to it. So yeah, just be mindful of that. I'm going to go in and add the foam tape to the back of all the flowers and some glue on the leaves. Just getting those adjusted a little bit better and getting them to adhere to the press and seal. I'm going in with the Lawn Fawn glue again. I'll get all those release papers off, and here's what I was talking about being careful. So I just found it was easier to hold my fingernail on the back of the flowers and then just turn it as I went, so it wasn't really touching the stickiness of the press and seal, and that worked really good. So then I'll flip this over, line it up above my sentiment, try to kind of center it as best I could. I'll hold all that down, press down the foam tape. The glue is on the leaves. There is nothing holding the parrot on. So I will go back and add some foam tape to him in just a moment. And voila, it works great. I keep forgetting I have this stuff in my stash. So I really love that press and seal. Okay, so here I'm adding the parrot to the center of the card, and he also has some Wink of Stella, so do all of the flowers, and I'll have a close-up of that as well. I have some foam because this was, again, a little warped with the water on it. So put foam behind the whole panel and get that adhered to a card base. All my cards are A2 size cards, so they're 5.5 by 4.25. And there you go. Hopefully this image is okay. From my end, while I'm editing it, it's kind of blurry, so I'm hoping it doesn't come out blurry in the final cut. Here is a gorgeous panel that Francine sent me in the mail. I just got this in the mail, and she embossed these panels, and I just thought it was beautiful. So I cut that out with rectangular frame die, and I'm just adhering this to my card base. And here are some more images that I had colored. I colored everything pretty much at the beginning of the video before off camera. And then, of course, I added some extras. Like I had to go in and add a couple more of these pink flowers, but I didn't share that coloring. So this little chameleon is sitting on a bunch of pink flowers. And then I'm just going to add him to the center. I had to fix a little bit of the lines. I had cut his paw, like right above his little claw, his top one, so he could be holding on to the floor, you know, the floral arrangement. And it was kind of obvious, so I went in with the black pen just to disguise where I had cut him. And again, using foam tape to adhere him to the front of the card. He's just so cute. I want one of these so bad. I would love to have a little chameleon guy. I think that's what he is. But he's so cute. So I'll get that centered in the card. And then I thought I would add some more, a little bit more. I had another little pink flower sitting there. So I thought I would add that kind of underneath his tail. And again, once I get this kind of a little fiddly, once I get this figured out, I'm going to use a little scrap of that press and seal to help me kind of play with these little flowers and leaves so I can move them around and see where I want them. So here you see I have some press and seal again, and just kind of using it so I can see what I'm doing, and it holds it in my hands while I'm working with the whole thing as one set. So I put some foam tape on the little pink flower and some glue on the leaves once I figure out where I want it. Really have an issue with arranging flowers. So I'm going to go ahead and just go for it. Put some more glue on there and a little tiny foam dot on the flower. I had put the foam too high, so it was bumping into his tail. So that's what you see me messing around with there. So eventually I'll get this on there. It's taking forever. Sorry, I guess I didn't cut out as much as I thought, but phew, got it on there. Okay. So then I need a sentiment, and I hadn't really planned on what to do, so I'm just going to take another piece of that same pink cardstock that I used for my card base. I'm adding some more of the Spectral Noir glitter pen here. I had a piece of the brush just completely sticking out sideways, so I cut it off because I couldn't get it to go back flat. So added some more of that, and then I'm going to decide which sentiment I want. And I think I'm going to go with sending you sunshine or something. Let me see what it says. Sending warm wishes, I think, and sunny smiles. I'll trim that piece down. And it's going to go across my card, so I'm going to use my rectangular die to... I lost a little bit of footage there, but I did trim that sentiment strip with the rectangular frame die as well, just so it lines up and matches up. Added some Nouveau drops to the flowers and to the front of the sentiment. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!